Good morning, guys. I'm like, ugh. Good morning. Welcome to my channel. My name's Nikki, and I like dabbling a little bit in artsy type stuff. Morning, Giddy. It's pretty early here. The sun is just barely coming up, and I have my morning coffee, and the house is quiet because everybody's asleep. And so I'm going to take advantage of this little bit of quiet time and get in a little bit of painting done. Today I'm gonna work with this Van Gogh art box. I got this in the WaterSnack's, yeah. The WaterSnack's box. It's a quarterly subscription box. This was for spring of 2022. I have an unboxing video if you'd like to check that out, where I open this up along with some other supplies and swatch out the colors. But I want to work with this today, and I'm going to be doing some landscape paintings. All these colors are really, really bright, but one of the things that I like about bright colors is they're great for mixing. I'm filming this over a few days, and I'm just going to edit it all together and show you what I come up with. Just some really quick, simple landscapes. A great way to start the day, just spending 20-30 minutes painting. All right, so let's get going. All right, guys, I am here in voiceover mode now, and I'm just gonna put this on, speed up the video, and just chat with you for a little bit. So the first thing I want to talk about is the sketchbook I am using. This is the sketchbook that came in the WatercolorSnacks box for spring. It is a Strathmore watercolor soft cover sketchbook, and I've used these kind of sketchbooks before, but not in this landscape orientation. I usually have the portrait orientation, so it was kind of nice to mix it up a little bit and get one that's a little different shaped for this. So working on this little landscape here, and I've not really done a lot of landscapes in my work. I took an watercolor class. After I graduated college, I went back to the community college and took a watercolor class, but it was like 15 years ago, and that's probably when I did the most landscape type paintings. So a little bit about me. After I graduated college several years later, I went back and took a watercolor course, and that's where I really fell in love with doing watercolors. But that was 15 years ago, I think. I can't even remember. It was so long ago. And I really didn't stick with it. Life just happens. And I always put art kind of in the background and didn't really focus on it. Several years ago, I decided I really missed making art. And so I really wanted to kind of come back to it and just kind of pick it up as a little bit of a hobby. And then in 2020, I decided, it was at the very beginning, kind of one of my New Year's resolutions was, I'm going to get serious. I want to get really good. And so I'm going to spend more time concentrating on art. And I have to say, now it's so much easier with so much stuff online out there, just YouTube or Skillshare or individual classes, like all those different kinds of platforms. I think Domestika and Udemy, and I've done a few on all these different platforms, and it's really nice just getting all kinds of information out there versus when I took my college classes, there wasn't a lot of online stuff. So I've really been enjoying just kind of studying different things and trying to get back into a more routine art practice. And sometimes I do daily art things. I love Inktober, but I also sometimes just don't do anything for days or weeks. Anyways, so that's a little bit of my personal background with this. The landscapes, like I was saying, it's not something that I do much anymore, but I do want to practice it, I guess is what I'm saying. So these images that I'm painting, all of them were done from reference photos, and they are photos that I have taken over the years. I just love taking lots of pictures, and that's another thing over time and stuff. I'm old enough that my first decent camera was still on film. But with digital cameras and phones nowadays, it's so easy to take so many pictures. And that's pretty much what I do, as I take a ton of photos. And so when I want to paint something, I can kind of go back in and find photo references that I want to do that are my own. And so that's what I did here. I first, after I picked out the photos I wanted, I did some sketches with just a regular pencil, and just kind of simplified what I was wanting to draw. And that's because I didn't want these to be super detailed. I wanted them to be very loose and easy. I was working on them in the morning, and I knew I wasn't going to have a lot of time to finish them. I did this over 2 days, I think it was. And I just wanted to really keep it simple, keep it easy. And so like I said, I'm losing my train of thought here. There's like a bug flying around. Anyways. So I just sketched them out. So I got my composition and knew what I was going to do ahead of time so that I can jump in here in the morning, and paint a few landscapes really quickly. Anyways, so these watercolors, this was, like I said before, this was a set I got in the WatercolorSnacks box, which is part of ArtSnack's, and I love getting their mystery art supplies. They're just so fun to play with different things. I've found so many different types of art making medias that I never would have tried before, and so I just really have enjoyed them over the years. Currently, I'm only subscribed to the watercolor box because I love watercolor and I have a ton of them, but I still want more. I'm just obsessed with them. That is one of the medias that I just keep coming back to. So the colors in this palette were very bright, and by themselves, they're a little overwhelming, I think. But one of the things I enjoy about really bright color paints is they just blend and mix really nicely. So if you are wanting to practice mixing different colors, coming up with your own unique colors, I think this was a great palette to work with. Some of my favorite combinations was using the phthalo green, and phthalo green on its own is not a color that I like. It's a very unnatural looking green, but I have to say that some of my favorite color mixes come from using phthalo green. With these paints, I ended up mixing the phthalo green with, the palette calls this permanent blue violet, but it's the same color as a dioxazine purple if you have that. So if you mix that green and purple, you end up getting some really lovely shades of blue. The other combination I liked was the phthalo green and turquoise blue, which again, it comes up with some really lovely blue colors. And so that's what I did for the skies. And in this palette, that was very nice because the only blue in it is that turquoise blue, which by itself is a pretty color, but it's not a very natural color. So I like toning it down a little bit. Some of the other combinations I really liked. And before I painted these, I also did a very quick color mixing chart. It was very rough, so I had an idea of what colors I could mix with it and what I wanted to, and I used that while I was painting this. For the grays, I used the hooker green and the two purples that were in this palette. I used those for like the mountains, and made some really nice grays, like I said. And just mixing opposite colors, if you're wanting to do color mixing, the opposites, they neutralize each other and can make some really lovely colors mixed together, especially again with these really bright colors. To get some of my darker greens, I mixed the sap green with the permanent red in the palette, and those really made some nice greens. And I would just throw in other greens to vary them up a little bit. Hey guys, so yeah, I'm all finished up here in my little sketchbook with this, again, the ArtSnack's or WatercolorSnacks special Van Gogh pocket box. And this is a little sketchbook with our ArtSnack's sticker on it. This was the one that came with the box this last time. What was it? Spring? Spring, yes. And so my little landscapes, I did 3. So I have first one here, just real simple. Second one, and then the last one. This is supposed to be a snowy shot. So that's why I kept this like super, super light. Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this, and I'm really enjoying this box. I'm actually tempted. They have several others. This collection is special for WatercolorSnacks. They have, so these particular colors, the only way you can do it is if you had the WatercolorSnacks subscription box, or I believe they have this right now on the ArtSnack's website. You can buy individually. But Van Gogh also has several other collections of this. I'm actually looking at maybe getting the muted palette. It looks interesting to me. So yeah, if you have that one, let me know what you think of it. Is it worth picking up? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.